You ready?
Let's do this.
Okay. I like your shirt.
Yeah. It's actually really cool. So. There we go.
You proud of
Get
it?
it? No, it's dope. Look, it's the hammer.
I get it. You are a grown-ass man.
5am crew liked it. They were like, dude, that's dope.
Nice. All right.
Marvel fans there.
Do you want to get to today's show?
Let's do it.
Yo! What's up, guys? My name is Chris Tutela, once again, alongside my good friend and creepy co-host,
Ruben Borges. What's up, guys?
Welcome to episode number 34?
Yes. 34.
34 or 33?
34. Last week was 33.
Welcome to episode number 34 of TTS Talk. Coach, how you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. But let me ask
It's the first episode that you and I had get a chance to do it without a guest in the last couple of weeks.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been a
since
few
your birthday.
weeks.
I think since your birthday.
Okay. Yeah, about a month.
You just came back from Chicago. How was that?
Chicago was great, man.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Went to Wrigley Field.
Went to Wrigley. We did some kayaking in the river.
I saw those videos. Those were pretty entertaining.
Yeah, went to Lake Michigan. We did a whole bunch of stuff. Good food, good time. We had a blast.
What would you say out of Chicago? What do you remember most? Or what's like?
The Wrigley Field was pretty dope.
Really
yeah, it was pretty dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. So,
Good stuff.
But speaking of my trip to Chicago, I got some training in over there, and that's what today's episode is actually going to be about. Because a lot of you guys watching, especially in the summertime, you're traveling, you're taking trips, and a lot of people don't really know what to do on the road, especially if your hotel gym is kind of crappy or whatever. So,
and you've done this very well because I've seen you post videos, obviously, and you kind of show me the places you have. You have minimal equipment, but you give yourself a pretty decent workout, right?
Yeah, always, and it's important to get something. So I think where a lot of people they get caught up in maybe the program that they're currently following, and then they see that they don't have that equipment at the gym, so they say screw it and don't train at all.
Yeah.
Right? So even if you have a real shitty hotel gym, you could still get some good quality work in, right? So for instance, the gym I was actually at was actually one of the better gyms in Chicago.
It was pulls in and everything.
Yeah, it had one cable machine, and then it had dumbbells up to hundreds, and then it had some cardio equipment. It had one of those assault treadmills. That was pretty cool too. Get some sprints on there. So I kept it super simple. What did I do? I just did a quick full body circuit. I did single arm presses. I did goblet squat. I did single arm presses for 6 each side. I did goblet squats for a set of 6, and then, eight each, and then the goblet squats for a set of 8.
Yeah, the weights too to do it. So.
And then I was just doing face pulls for sets of 20, and I did 5 rounds of that. And then after we completed that, we did a little bit of abdominal work. And then we just did about 5 sprints for 5 10-second sprints on the assault bike, that was pretty good.
It's a pretty impressive workout.
Yeah, usually you don't have stuff that's that you might not have dumbbells up to hundreds. So I've also done gyms that it's only machines, and we constantly preach training. Listen, machines have their place.
Yep.
For the most part, you want to train without them, but then there's some people that may have an injury or something like that, and a machine might be a better option for that person, but that's a different topic. But when you're on the road, if they only have machines, it's not bad to jump on a machine and get a little bit of a pump, like a chest press machine, maybe one of those hammer strength row machines, something like that, but just getting some work in it. And there's 2 pieces of equipment that I would say that you should keep in your bag with you. So when you get off the plane or you get out of a long car ride, you could start moving. So that's a lacrosse ball. So first thing I did was lacrosse ball on my feet, my glutes, my hip rotators. I just kind of loosen up a little bit. They did have a foam roller in the gym, so I just hit my quads a little bit. Nice. And then the other thing would be a band. And I forgot my band for this trip, so I was fucking pissed. But a band is definitely...
So much you can do with a band. Much more than you think. And just in regards to pulling or just hooking it up to any device.
So simple, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could do RDLs with it, so you can do some type of hinging pattern. There's squat patterns you could do with it, the band pull parts, of course. There's so many different variations of stuff you could do so you can get your upper back work in too. And then, of course, body weight training, right? So push-ups, if you could do chins somewhere, that goes a long way. Just planking variations, just single leg exercises.
Incline push-ups, like finding bars that, or maybe there's a bench.
Yep.
You know, it's a little bench.
Yep.
With the bodyweight, one time when I was coaching up in Cooperstown, I was coaching a 12U team, 12 and under team, and we had grass all over it. It was in a camp. It was miserable. But the trip was great. The tournament, besides that, there was obviously no training facility, nothing. So I would get up early before the kids got up, and I would go. They had a big grassed area, and I just did body weight work. I remember I was hitting mountain climbs for 30 seconds. I did a 50-yard sprint and push-ups. Took a break, right back, just to get it kind of interval training. I did it twice throughout the week, just to do something, just to move.
Yeah.
And that was just me. I had nothing. I think some coaches was walking around, I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? But it was a way for me to wake up, get my day started, and that was no gym at all. But to go back, we were saying, don't go back to the basics. It's your body weight movements.
Yeah, if you have nothing, hitting some type of sprint, I mean, that's huge, right? Yeah. So if you have a field, or if you're down the shore somewhere, or you have a beach, doing sprints on the beach. I went to California one time, and I hit the sand dunes.
You kept talking about that.
Over at Manhattan Beach. Yeah, the most brutal thing I've ever done in my entire life. It was absolutely brutal. I've done some hard shit, and those sand dunes were absolutely a nightmare.
Yeah, especially if you find hills, right? Any type of hill, grassed hill, I mean, get some movement in. And some of these hotels that you go to, they have the machines, you're saying. Sometimes the weights are not so high. They stop at 15.
50-pound dumbbells, maybe.
Yeah, right?
If you're lucky.
And that's ways you can incorporate maybe high volume training, more reps, maybe isometric holds, things like that. It doesn't always have to be heavy. You have those weights, use them for certain movements like side raises, or even just overhead pressing, or any type of pressing, but just higher reps, maybe go 3 sets of a 1 before your max, things like that.
Right. And then you can do rows, you could do dumbbell swings, you could do goblet squats, right? And you could do that, you can make it with the light weight. You could add like a 1 1/4 rep or 1 1/2 rep sets. You could do it with a real slow, controlled tempo. So you could do drop sets. So now you can make those light weights a lot heavier. You could do one of the shoulder scorchers. Like a superset for some type of side raise variation. Stuff like that. Right, if you have access to a Swiss ball where you can do stability work, and get some abdominal work, you can even press on the Swiss ball, but I don't really recommend that because the Swiss balls that you might use at a hotel might not be the best, and they could burst on you, and then you'd be in trouble.
It'd be a floor press.
You'll lose some teeth. But yes, and then most gyms like that do also have some type of medicine balls too, so you could do med ball push-ups. If you have a partner and you want to do some explosive movement, you can do med ball throw variations. You can do stuff like that. Abdominal work. So there's
med ball push-up alternating. There's just a lot of different variations of that.
Right.
Just make sure the ball, if you're doing med ball slams, make sure it's made for the slam. And
they're not going to have slam balls.
All right, it just hits you in the face.
We wouldn't suggest doing med ball slams at a hotel gym. We're going to get it right in the kisser.
Yeah, or maybe a complaint.
For sure.
What would you say that some hotels maybe have some pools?
Some what?
Pools.
Yeah, go for a swim. Absolutely, do something. I've done that before too. Just kind of hit and I'm not a terrible swimmer, but just hit a sprint, rest, hit a sprint, rest, and just kind of do intervals like that. But get anything that you can do. The point is that we're trying to make today is that you don't. I guess this episode is going to be pretty short and sweet, but you don't. It doesn't have to be a 60-minute training session when you're on the road, when you're on vacation. You can do something very productive in 15 minutes and 20 minutes. Whatever you have access to, do it in a fast little circuit, get the blood flowing a little bit. I guarantee you it's going to set the tone for the rest of the day. And one thing that I started doing is when I get off a plane, I immediately go, the first thing I do when I check into the hotel is go to the gym. Because just to start moving, get the blood flowing, you will be shocked at how much better you feel. Because when you get off a plane, you're kind of just you feel like shit, your back is tight, your glutes are locked up. Like, so as soon as you get off the plane, head right to the gym. Don't waste time before you do anything else. 15, 20, 30 minutes, however much time you have. If you need a little bit of time to check in, even before you grab something to eat, hit the gym. I promise you, it is an absolute game changer. It'll change the way you feel. I even took my friend Brian to the gym.
Yeah, so he came. I want to know if everyone else came or was it just?
It was me and him were the first guys to get there.
Okay.
So we flew in together. So I dragged him to the gym, and even he said, he's like, I'm so happy I did this. He's not a gym rat. Like, you know, he gets some training in, but he's not like a real gym rat. But he was like, I'm so happy that I did this. I feel so much better. And you will too, so just make sure that you...
Good advice. I'm a guy after a plane, I'm like, I'm done. I'm like...
Don't take a nap.
I almost want to take a nap, and
don't do it.
Pissed off. First of all, I'm praying, I'm happy we made it. And I'm like all intense.
Yeah, I never saw a guy so terrified to fly before.
Dude, it was just too much.
This guy was blessing the plane when we walked in.
I think it's because of Con Air.
You kind of look like Cyrus the Virus. But yeah, my best piece of advice is just do something. If you don't have a hotel gym, just get out, start moving, go for even a jog. It's not even something that I would typically do or suggest, but if you want to go for a quick run,
just look at the area that you're at too. Yeah,
get the blood flowing, get outside. It's
there's
super
always
important.
You're right, and there's always something to do, whether it be run, small circuit, 20 minutes, but move. And like Chris said, I think that's a good point. Get off the plane, get right into it.
Yeah, I've even done.
I think you'll enjoy vacation better because you're up on that first day.
You feel better.
Yeah.
And you feel better. So you did a couple training sessions. One time I went to Costa Rica and we stayed at a house, so we didn't have a hotel gym, obviously. So what I did was handstand push-ups, regular push-ups on the ground. I did band pull aparts. I did lunges. I even did burpees and squat thrust. And then I did a bunch of rounds of that, probably 5 rounds or something like that. And then I shadow boxed for about 10 minutes.
Shadow box.
Yeah. And I felt incredible, you know. I was like, but you're always going to feel better doing something rather than doing nothing. If you don't do anything and you eat like shit all trip, that's going to screw up. And that brings us to the next point is you don't have to eat like shit if you're on vacation. It's important to enjoy yourself and eat when you want to eat. But my advice is eat a clean breakfast, eat well for most of your morning and early afternoon, and then if you want to eat like shit for dinner and just really indulge and enjoy yourself for dinner, then do that. Save the cheat meal for later in the day.
I agree, and to touch up on that, because especially for anybody that's been in a diet or been training consistently and eating clean for the most part, and you go on vacation, you think, all right, I'm just gonna let it all be all. It actually almost, because your body's just not used to it, you end up being lethargic and a little slower. You don't want to be like that on vacation. You want to be like the way you are normal, right? You're always up early, you're good to go. So like Coach says, keep it clean for the most part because you'll enjoy that vacation morning and night, have that meal that you're having, you plan on having. The next day, wake up, get back into that, normal mode that you're in, and you'll be able to enjoy the trip better instead of being kind of, I'd say one night of eating like crap, the next day you're probably not going to get up all sparky and ready to go.
Yeah, that's for sure. And especially if you get up in the morning and then just go crush blueberry pancakes and waffles and shit like that. Like your blood sugar is gonna spike and then plummet, and you're just gonna feel awful for the rest of the day. You're not gonna feel great. You're gonna feel bloated, and it's just not a good feeling. Then you don't have the energy and the clarity to really enjoy the day. So if you really love breakfast foods and you want to cheat on that, save it for the last day of the trip. But for me, I always keep it super clean. And then dinner, I just pick whatever the hell I want, eat whatever I want for dinner. I usually follow it up with some dessert. Next day, back in the gym or back doing sprints or back doing some type of movement first thing in the morning. Go have breakfast and then just keep it clean. Cheat again at night. And I kind of just do that. And maybe will you gain a couple pounds? Maybe, but you'll burn that shit right back off as soon as you get back and start eating well again for the majority of the time once you do get back home. So don't think you have to just eat like shit when you're out on the road.
24/7 now, and just don't forget move. Find a way to move.
Right. Yeah. And the other thing is alcohol. If you're a drinker on vacation, if you start drinking margaritas and pina coladas and all that, you're getting so much additional sugar that you're going to put on a lot of extra body fat if you're drinking like that all the time. So if you're going to drink alcohol, a vodka club would be a better option, right? Or just a scotch on the rocks or something like that. Better option. Tequila, better option. But when you start having all this extra sugar from sodas and juice and mixers, frozen margaritas, all this shit, then all of a sudden now you're going to put on a lot more weight than you had to on your trip. And believe me, it's not worth it, in my opinion at least. Like for me, I'm never like, oh my God, that frozen margarita made my vacation. Like, if you want to have a couple drinks, that's one thing. But when you drink that other stupid stuff,
I'm ashamed to say I had failed on that because the colors get me, and the umbrella on top. But yeah, Coach Red Plus, it saves your morning. You don't want that morning, all that amount of sugar. It's gonna times 10 that hangover.
For me, if I'm gonna get 100 grams of sugar, I would rather be stuffing my face with donuts and pastries and eating those waffles.
You don't want that pink umbrella, the blue drink, and all like.
No, I don't.
Get the.
I don't want that at all.
Drink like a man.
Yeah. So our advice, or my advice at least, would be to ditch that stupid stuff and just, if you're gonna drink alcohol, keep it
Clean.
quote unquote
Clean alcohol.
Yeah, the alcohol itself isn't clean, but guys, that will absolutely lead to you having a better vacation and a more productive vacation. You'll enjoy yourself. You'll enjoy your trip more. You'll have more energy. You'll feel better. So
You'll maintain those gains.
Yeah. You won't lose, right? If you go away from for a week and you don't have a gym, let's just say, like, you can still get some work in where you're getting some type of maintenance work. So by the time you get back, it's not like your strength just absolutely plummeted, right? You're going to feel better. So I hope that this episode helps, guys. I know that this is something I travel a pretty decent amount throughout the year. Ruben will be going away pretty soon.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try that. Off the plane, and then we'll go right to the gym. Let's see how that works for me.
Yeah, so get up, get moving, and if you follow these steps here, you follow this advice, I guarantee that you're gonna feel better overall. So give it a shot. And if you have any questions and need any more tips for training on the road, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm at Chris_Tutela, Tutela, or you can hit up Ruben at.
Guys, you ask me any questions at _Ruben, RUBEN_Borges, BORGES. Ask away.
And we will be happy to help. So guys, thank you for tuning in. And as always, we will catch you next week on another episode of
TTS Talk.